Hi there. It's awesome to be here, and yeah, just to share a couple of my point of views on perception, on illusion, on what fascinated me, how I got pulled into the profession, and what it has taught me, my journey that it's taken me on. This was one of my first props that was the first ever object that I manipulated or controlled or got fascinated with. And it was through karate. I was a child, like 8, 9 years old. And I learned a couple of moves, which was something like this, just spinning it around. And this somehow I got obsessed with. I think it's like a healthy obsession that I just would like keep practicing different speeds, different ways of doing it, maybe from the back. And uh, this took me on this whole other journey, which got me introduced to a whole number of props along the many years that have come, and have made me realize how we perceive things a little differently, how our perception is limited by not just its colors, by its the way our eye catches things. It catches light, it catches movement, it helps us focus better. It was my form of meditation, it was my form of therapy, and I didn't even like know it. I wasn't too aware of it. It helped me look beyond certain things the way they're presented to us sometimes also. And this was happening at a very subconscious level. It's a level of awareness that kind of comes when you look back at it in retrospect sometimes. So yeah, that's how it was for me. And from the nunchucks, it went into these 2 water bottles, or like any water bottle basically. I just took what I had, what I found right now. 500 ml, 700 ml water bottles. These were the first 2 objects that I was juggling with. And before I even got behind the bar, before I even learned anything about alcohol, before I even knew I wanted to bartend, somehow I wanted to juggle way before that. And yeah, the nunchucks, the stick, these bottles were the first few props when I was a child, like way before I turned 18. This was when I was 7, 8. Then and I was around 11 or 12, I saw a movie where I learned this move, the back toss, and the back to side toss. And these were the first 3 moves that I sort of learned. Why it fascinated me, what attracted me towards it, is a part of like how perception plays with us also, plays with our minds. And sometimes it's a great thing. It can take us on these beautiful journeys and make us see such lovely things. But it also, our limited perception also creates these mind blocks which help us not see things as they are. And it's not just about seeing things, it's how we hear things, how we perceive it in various ways, how language plays a role, how we present things. Mixology, the bar is a lot on presentation, the garnish that we give the cocktail, to the glass that we present the cocktail in, to deciding on which ingredients and what flavors and what story we want to stitch around it. How we present the entire picture is how it's going to be received, or how we wish for it to be received. And that can be very artistic. And sometimes it can also be in a very manipulative way when it's mixed with, say, the other things that we sometimes choose not to see, or we even don't see it, where it can be from capitalism to consumerism, or the patriarchy and misogyny, and even racism and casteism, and all these various machines and structures of society which control us, but we don't even know how they control us, and how it plays a part in every profession. It's as a bartender, I think sometimes you can just observe from an outside, like from behind the space, like looking at it backstage almost, where the action is happening. But it's also through this profession, being a freelancer, that I could explore other spaces and I could question these other areas of life, which I didn't even know, like, or we don't think that they affect us in a very direct manner, and they do very directly. Like all forms of oppression or discrimination help nobody, not even the oppressor or the person that we think is privileged from that particular form of exploitation. Even the oppressor does not benefit from it, neither, of course, does the oppressed. And we still live amongst these systems because we either don't know how to step out of it and we wish to, or we don't even wish to step out of it. And just a simple factor being like how capitalized and a capitalistic society that even my industry is a part of, and that's the way it flourishes. In the last 20 years, it has grown so much. It has become a very big industry, and I don't necessarily know if I should feel proud of it also anymore. I mean, some part of it, you get certain rewards. You think we are progressing. We think our careers are improving. But I feel like it's a career I'm a part of, which we can also do without. Like, it's not really a required thing for society, but hospitality and the heart of hospitality, where it originates from, that is required, you know. Like, alcohol is not the problem. It's the way we produce it that is the problem. It's like the commercialization of it is the problem. How it's how we would go to any levels of deforestation and environmental exploitation and human exploitation as well to function a certain industry or to serve a certain industry, whether it be war, medicine, the bar industry. They are all connected. All industries have some interlink with each other and they support one another. And that's, I think, the mirage or the illusion that we sort of think that there's no connection. We think we are not connected. We don't feel the connection with everything around us because we have been, at least I have been brought up and grown up in such a disconnected environment where everything we cover with concrete, that nothing can grow, and we call development to be progress. Whereas I think there was this book called One Straw Revolution where they speak about how building 5 hospitals would be development, but how healthy your society is what's progress. And understanding that difference, I think, is the illusion that we sort of don't see. Eating good quality, healthy food is what we need to aim for, look for, and what we thrive on. What, you know, it's beautiful, but it's somehow gotten, food and beverage industries gotten into a direction of the fancy and the unnecessary and just a lot of stuff that we would rather have less of. And the focus on having less is something I think we've disconnected ourselves from. And there's just like about more, and that's progress, that's development, that's better. And yeah, it's kind of not. So to explain maybe also how sometimes my perceptions have been influenced by my profession or my practice is like what I would like to demonstrate maybe with the contact ball as well. And this is an object. I got super fascinated when I first saw it. Maybe when I was 28, 29 or something. And or like around that time. And yeah, it looks like, whoa, what's happening? It's all balance. It's all different points of balance. And if we could even like, you know, some of us could just try a move at home right now, even if we don't have an object, and we can try and visualize something that's not there. But you know, it's there then once you visualize it enough. So, you know, we visualize a ball, and we just sort of take our hand around that ball, okay? Just like that. So we don't even need an object right now with us. We can take a ball, or imaginary ball, and just raise our hand around that ball. Instead of bringing our hand up and down like this, we keep the ball in the same spot, and a hand goes around it. And in different directions, you can try the same, and inwards and downwards. And just this move is how it looks with the ball when you merge it together. And if I use my left hand, it seems as if my left hand is controlling it, but I'm telling you it's not, so you can see that it's not also. And yeah, sometimes there are some tricks which should be played on our minds, and they look beautiful. And like if you know a magic trick is magic, then it's quite entertaining, it's quite lovely, it's inspiring even. But when you get tricked into like believing that that's the truth, that's the problem with it, you know. Like, let's get entertained by this like somewhat of a crazy world that's been built. But yeah, let's not believe it so much that we give it more power than it already has and just gets into a direction that, you know, we can't get out of. And yeah, some of these things, my language, I hope I'm able to articulate like what I'm trying to say, but sometimes that's the restriction of language itself, that we are not able to express fully. And sometimes we need the methods of art and music and other forms to express what we feel and what we truly, want to talk about. So maybe even like just to explain the illusion of this ball, if we can have some music, if that is, we have a song or anything, like just to see it a little differently. And yeah, we could try that out. And if it's possible to reduce some of this light, or I'll just come in this space. Yeah. So whenever we can have a song, but we can like do a little song or later. But yeah, it's how a sound and what we see and what we taste and how it smells and how all our senses play a part in the overall, the way we see things, and how sometimes it's shiny and it's bright and it's not, what we're looking at is where the light is falling is what we need to see and what we are able to see. But sometimes we can't look into the light because it's just too bright. Yeah, and how that's a part of the illusion, movement, lights, and just to demonstrate some of that, yeah, we can go for it.
Run it up, the sun is up, so run it down, get your money up. I put money down on all of us, on my people now, on what I love. Ooh, baby, it's dangerous. Your problems are just not the same to us. We're dealing with things you ain't seen before. We're feeling the weight of our ancestors. We're healing with ways that don't last for long. Don't have but the time and it obvious. No help for the weak, but the liquor strong. Plenty here, boy, for all of us. Now bring out the drums in this bitch, and my homies got rich doing shit that they said wouldn't work. Bring out the guns in this bitch, hit a load up a clip, I'm gon' shoot up the place with them cut. I see the bums that be wishing we end in the ditch, and they're praying to see them ain't hurt.
Just, yeah, okay. Yeah, these little things also make me feel comfortable. I think just speaking is something which puts me in this unfamiliar space, and sometimes that's exciting to go into spaces that are not so comfortable, and yeah, to explore the things, the thoughts, the point of views, the perceptions which are not ours, and we don't see it. And sometimes, from a privileged perspective, it's tough to see the privilege. But I think that's the only way of breaking it, is like when we can recognize our own privileges, the privilege of speaking English also, or any of the colonized languages. If you speak it well, it's a privilege today. The privilege of financial power, the privilege of knowing how things work in cities, or the privilege of race and caste and gender and orientation and all of the structures, these invisible structures that we've created. If we can let go of some of the privileges, I think that's one of the simplest ways I can think of that we can break the system. And it's all connected. All forms of oppression are the same. So yeah, that's a little something, an illusion that hopefully I'll try to break at some point in my life. And that's what's taught me. Just to sort of end with another visual of 3-ball juggling. So it's something that I also perform with now at the bar, or outside the bar rather. And just if we can reduce the lights again to kind of show how sometimes light plays a part in how we see things and how it catches our eye, and how sometimes then we pay more attention to what's being said or less attention to what's being said because our minds are looking at something else. And yeah, that's a little bit of 3-ball juggling, which has a very different style than contact ball juggling. And yeah, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, this is some of my illusions I'd like to present. Thank you.